which is all good. Oh, there's a little sparkle on my laptop. It's looking pretty good. Just needs to carbonate up properly. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. It actually doesn't taste too bad now. This is my SMaSHoff beer. This is the entry that I have for the SMaSHoff challenge. I was awarded as my hop warrior, which has no aroma, has no taste. It just has a smooth, bitter back end. When I first tasted it a week or so ago, I thought, oh, this is off. It's got an infection. It's not, it just tastes like Heineken. I saw a great picture the other day. It was a picture of all the fictional beers from TV series and movies. It was chucked on the Hut Brewer group Facebook by Darren Lavelle. He saw it and he chucked it up. Here's a picture of it now. This is great. You know, there's all those TV series that you see beers in, and they're all fake because of course they can't do advertising, not like what they can do now. And so here's all these fake beers that they made up. It's quite interesting how many beers there are there. Alright, my 3 beers for the SOBA National Homebrew competition have left. They're on their way to Hamilton. Registration fees paid for all 3 beers. Here's their little Q code labels on them so that the brewer is anonymous to the judges, so that there's no bias or anything in there. So all the beer bottles have to be labelled with these QR codes, etc. And it links it to you at the end of the day. So if you win, beep, you beep the button and oh look, this is the person that won. So it's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now what did I send? Here's actually the labels of the beers that I sent. There's 2 new labels and 1 old label, but I've got some of these beers that I will be shipping around, apart from the peculiar one, because there's not that many bottles of that left. But anyway, I sent the peculiar one, obviously, because I found 4 more bottles of it, and I thought, why not? It's been sitting for 2 years. Let's fire 2 bottles up there and call it an old English ale. See what they think of that. Be good just to get some feedback back on it anyway. And my Smashing Savin. I sent my Smashing Savin. Here's a label for that. And 13 apples. Here's a label for 13 apples. So I'm going to print these labels off hopefully by the end of the week and label up a couple of bottles and fire them around to a couple of people. There's a couple of people I've told that I'm going to be sending some beers to and ciders to. 13 apples is interesting. It's 13% ABV. It's got a bit of a punch to it. And the people that have been tasting it quite like it. I'm not a big cider fan, so I was like, oh, that's a bit strange, but other people have been drinking it and they like it, so that's good. Must have done something right with it. It's growing on me actually, it's quite weird. I better get another glass. I'll be back. So yeah, it does have a little bit of carbonation. The CO2 hasn't saturated in there yet, and there's still some little hop particles floating around in it as well. Yeah, I'm going to bottle this up by the weekend, so I might be able to get it transferred into another keg ASAP, let it carbonate up properly and get it bottled, but it's pretty clear. I'm pretty happy with the clarity of that. It tastes okay. It's passable. So yeah, it's all the SMaSHoff. We've had 2 people unfortunately have to pull out from the SMaSHoff because their beer has become infected, and I think it's a Bacillomyces infection, so not sure where that's come from for them, but it's a bit of a pain. I hate it when you open up your fermenter and you give it a sniff and you go, oh no, there's an infection. Yeah, bit of a worry, but I was a little bit worried that this was going to be infected, but it just turned out to taste like Heineken, so that's good. So what's in the fermenter? I have Dr. Rudy's Pils, which is my Pilsner for Christmas, currently bubbling away in the fermenter, and it's been bubbling away, 12 days? Yeah, nearly 12 days I think. First 2 days it was being fermented at around 21 degrees just to get that yeast racing and get it all excited, and then I ramped the temperature down over a couple of hours to 13 degrees, and it's been sitting at 13 degrees for the past 10 days, and it's just bubbling away. So I'm going to leave it there for probably another week or so. I'll just monitor the bubbles. I just want to catch it before it stops fermenting and increase its temperature for a diacetyl rest, because of course 13 degrees is going to have a lot of sulfurs in there and bits and pieces, so I really got to crank that temperature back up again towards the end and get that yeast to try and clean up all the leftover bits and pieces, and then rack it off into secondary and leave it probably at 20 degrees in secondary for a couple of days just to help settle it out, and then start to crash it. So start to crash it for my lagering. Now for my lagering I start at 20 degrees, and every 2 days I drop it by a degree until it gets to 1 degree, and then I hold it at 1 degree for as long as I possibly can and bottle it up. That makes it nice and clear like this. It's going to be a busy weekend. It's Labour weekend. It's a long weekend this weekend. So I have the SMaSHoff challenge that's coming to an end, and I will need to be getting this bottled and going around and doing the logistics of picking up all the other beers from all the other brewers, bringing them back, sorting them out, getting them into packs again and getting them back out to everybody so that they can start tasting and voting on the beers. So very much the same way that SJ Pour ran. It's just a big beer swap. You take the beers away and your beers are judged by your peers. And I just collect the votes at the end of the day and we work out whose was the best beer. So lots of fun. Also this weekend on Sunday is the Pacific Beer Expo, held by Hashigo Saki, which is a cult craft beer pub in Wellington. And that is breweries from the Pacific Rim showcasing beers. Now normally they showcase off the wall beers, stunning beers, just different stuff. Brewers brew something different to take to the Pacific Beer Expo. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's only on Sunday. I want to go along and take my camera and try and get as much video as I can. I just need to try and organise time and stuff like that. But if I do, there will be a video up about it. And last weekend I did another brew demonstration. A beginner's brew down at Brew Zealand, which is a homebrew store just down the road from where I work. Every couple of months or so I pop in there and I do a brew demonstration to kit and kilo people and people that have been doing kit beers, and just show them how we can start to add steeping grains to their kits and hops and when to add hops and what they do, and a little bit of partial mashing and things like that, just to try and sex up their kits a little bit. So that's fun. It's nice just to have to meet some of the other brewers out there, some of the kit and kilo brewers and some of the brewers that are just starting out, touch base with them and introduce them to the Hut Brewer Club and all the other things that I do. And a brewer's a brewer. It doesn't matter if you're all grain or if you're kit and kilo. You're still brewing homebrew beer, which is a good thing. So anyway, that's enough from me. I'm going to finish this. So cheers. Have yourself another one.